Hello and welcome. I wanted to just give a quick little mini workshop here today about the era of authenticity, especially as we enter the increasingly AI driven digital era. If you're anything like me and you value knowing what's actually real out there and connecting with genuine humans, it can feel a little bit scary to see everything that's changing online, right? I don't know if you've seen, but my algorithm keeps showing me, because I guess I just find it so fascinating and wild, these pages that teach you how to make your own AI avatar. It's literally not a real person. And normally when you see like AI made influencers and models, especially on video and especially talking, you can usually notice that it's AI, right? Because something's a little bit off about like the lip syncing, or it all just looks like too perfect. And now the more I see of these, the more I'm like, oh my goodness, they're actually so freaking realistic. And I know I look like happy and excited about this, but of course, there's that part of me that's like, wow, what is this going to do for our children and their perception of the world and how perfect they should look? How are we going to trust? How are we going to discern who's actually human and who's just some dude on a laptop pretending to be some model that doesn't actually exist? And she's not a real human. And yet she's giving you this like advice about being a human. I don't think we are meant to ignore the fact that this is happening and just bypass it. Because again, if we have fears, if we have genuine concerns and a little bit of anxiety about this era, it doesn't serve us to push that fear into the shadows and pretend it doesn't exist and just like spiritually bypass and say it's all good, it's all love and light, everything is unfolding exactly as it's meant to. I genuinely do believe that even through the darkness, things are unfolding how they're meant to, and things are happening in a greater divine order that we cannot understand. But that's on a cosmic level. On a human level, I do understand there's literally like really scary stuff happening, right? And there are so many nuances to the AI conversation. Without getting into should we use AI? Should we not use AI? In which ways should we use AI? I don't even like the word should. I don't think you should or shouldn't be doing anything. I think you get to keep coming back to your own truth and your own discernment. And that's something that's going to be really important in this mini class that we're speaking on here, is like knowing how to trust your gut, trust that feeling of like something feels a little bit off, and maybe just being mindful. It doesn't have to mean like completely avoiding and being scared of everything and completely untrusting of everything out there, but it definitely just means like having your own discernment and your own awareness. So anyways, I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing with AI, but I do want to talk about the fact that inevitably this is happening, right? Like whether we want to fight against AI or not, it's here. It's rising. Our children are going to know about it. They're probably going to use it. I can't imagine a world really where our children don't end up using AI in some way, shape, or form, because this is the era we're emerging into. So we can fight it all we want. And also, like, things are digital and the world is changing. And it's not about necessarily needing to like go back to the past and be against all technology and new tools and that kind of thing. But again, it's like, how do we find our own truth around them? How do we support our children to find their own discernment, right, on what's true for them, especially in this day and age when it's becoming more and more confusing and there's more and more noise out there. It's happening anyway. And what I think is really cool is that as something rises, technology and the popularization of people using AI and it becoming more and more common, more and more real looking and sounding, more and more almost human-ish, which is again kind of the creepy part, is like I've had conversations with AI diving deeper into some of my patterns and some things that I'm healing and relationship stuff that I'm in. And hey, can we look at this from my partner's perspective and see where I might be actually like missing something here? And how can I develop more empathy for him or for myself or for my child and my patterns? Like, I've had very deep conversations actually personally with AI, using it as a tool, not using it as the only be all and end all guru, but at least for me, a soundboard to really just bounce thoughts off of and organize my chaotic brain. Like, there are ways that we can use it intentionally if it feels true for you. There's a lot of emotional intelligence that's now been programmed into it, where it's like really wild how much it can actually sound like a loving human speaking back at you, right? When something like that is trending, the opposite, or almost like the antidote to that thing, will also trend. And that's the part that I find really, really exciting, because again, we're entering an era where it's going to be harder and harder to tell what's real. right? We're entering an era where we're glued to our phones, like scrolling and hyperfixating on other people's opinions and the answer being somewhere inside this device than ever before. Instead of like, let me go take some time, go for a walk and sit with this, it's let me ask ChatGPT, right? And again, I'm not even saying like don't ever use it as a tool to bounce these ideas off of and like look at both perspectives and all perspectives and zoom out and find your own truth. But definitely use it intentionally if you are using it. And when that's happening more and more, people are going to need more regulation. They're going to need more connection, like real human connection that cannot be replaced. There can be a lot of like types of therapies and things that could be replaced, like talk therapy in some ways could be replaced with AI, again, using discernment, not giving it all of your power, but really like asking the right questions, I guess. There are a lot of things that will be replaced by AI, but it will not be a human. Like it will not actually have lived a human life. So it can say, oh, I know how that feels. I feel you. But it doesn't really feel you. It just knows what to say, which those things can be like actually really comforting, right? But it's all of the opposites to this rise of technology and this rise of artificial intelligence are going to also rise. There's going to be more of a need for real, authentic, raw humans who you can just tell that they seem like real humans because you just get this vibe from them. Like you can just feel. And I think ultimately we're gonna need to or get to or start to connect more deeply with that subtle little, like I said, feeling in your gut when something feels resonant, when something feels genuine, when something feels forced, when something feels inauthentic. We already have an intuition, right? But a lot of us have become very disconnected from it. And especially, again, the more we outsource our power to like, the school system knows what's best for me. My parents know what's best for me. That textbook knows what's best for me. That author, that podcaster, that spiritual guru, and now like ChatGPT knows what's best for me. The more disconnected we're becoming from being able to actually quiet down the noise and tune in and hear our own inner truth and our own inner wisdom. Yet there is this subtle feeling, and you've probably felt it sometimes where you're like, that just feels kind of off. Or you land on somebody's page and it's like you feel their energy through the screen and you can't explain it, but there's just like something about it. And that's how I felt with certain creators online. It's how I felt with honestly women that I've then ended up doing business with or attending retreats or even trusting to hold space for me through like plant medicine journeys and other really deep healing. Not necessarily because of all of their credentials or because they said the perfect thing or because their posts or feed were perfectly curated with the best graphics, but literally just because of a feeling through the screen. And I think that that feeling is going to matter more than ever. And as someone who values building authentic, feminine, empowered online businesses in alignment with our truth, in alignment with our bodies, in alignment with our families, with how we're genuinely meant to live, like connected and in alignment, not through forcing, pushing, chasing, faking, trying to pretend that our life is perfect to get people to buy what we're selling or to do what we're doing, right? As someone who values all of that, I'm excited. And I don't know how to explain that excitement, but maybe you feel it. Like when you're looking at all this stuff and it seems really crazy and you're like, that's honestly just insane that more and more people are just going to be creating false versions of themselves that actually really do look like them. And you can't even tell anymore. And they might just be laying in bed, but they have like this glammed up makeup on in a podcast studio in their AI version of themselves. That's insane. And again, not even any judgment if that's actually what someone is choosing to do. I don't know your truth. Like, I genuinely don't actually know if that's wrong or bad or not for the highest good. Maybe like that really is what it takes to get someone like to stop overthinking showing up online and just like put it out there from this AI version of them, and it at least gets their true message out there. I don't actually know. Like, it is truly not my job, I believe, to sit here and actually judge. But to me, something about it feels like I don't think that I would do that personally, but I don't know. I actually don't know. that I'll never do that. I probably won't. Because again, like one of the main things that I've built my brand around, that I've built my connections and my community around, has really been the raw, real, messy highs and lows. Actually, this is like so beautifully curated right now. I don't even look that raw and real and messy. I just got a new microphone and I'm like testing it out and really, really hoping that this is going well sound wise, because there's like a fan on me and this background is stunning. And it's like it all just works because now I can have my phone far away because the microphone is here. So yeah, that's really cool and that it looks great, but it's real and like this actually is my life. And that's the thing, is like if you're willing to be human enough to say like, hey, things do not look pretty like this all the time. Like my daughter's at a water park with her dad. That's why this is like not getting interrupted also, right? But when you're willing to say like, hey, things are not always perfect. Things are not always easy. Sometimes this is going to look like this and sometimes it's not, right? But then the credibility of being able to say like, hey, not everything is sunshine and rainbows all the time, and yet this is also real and beautiful, then it shows people what's actually possible. I don't know if that makes sense, but if I just pretended that everything was perfect all the time, you probably wouldn't really actually believe the beauty, because it looks like it must just be curated or fake because it's like that all the time. And I don't think human life is beautiful all the time. Like I really can't imagine how. But like this truly is also real. So I think just honoring too, like that it's like motherhood can be messy, right? And it can be honestly beautiful and transformative and healing and incredible and, you know, amazing. And life can be really freaking hard and it can be so beautiful and inspiring at the same time. And I think we are just going to need more voices in that realm. Yeah, things can be really freaking scary and heavy. And sometimes you don't know how it's all going to work out and you don't have it all together. And again, that's what we're going to need more of, is people who are willing to be honest and also take empowered steps forward, because that's what's going to like pull us through these big waves of discomfort and uncertainty and stretch that I think humanity is going through together. Is not someone who says, oh, hey, everything's easy, come along with me, but someone who's willing to say like, hey, I don't have it all together all the time, but I'm putting one foot in front of the other anyways, and you can too. So I guess if you have been wanting to show up, wanting to share your message, wanting to create a personal brand online, wanting to create an income online, wanting to start a podcast, whatever it is, and really overthinking whether you're actually ready, overthinking whether you can compete now with like all the perfect stuff out there, there's a place for you. And it's actually very important that those of us who maybe don't feel like we have it all together all the time are willing to put our voice at the table. Does that make sense? Put ourselves at the table as well. Because our message matters, no matter how like perfectly we can get it out there. I don't feel like I even am communicating this very well right now, but I'm going to put it out there because that actually is the point. And I'm going to continue to put more stuff like this out there. So if authentic personal branding and building an income that actually feels true to you from your heart, especially in the age of AI, really witnessing the rising as well of the era of authenticity, if all of that resonates with you, if you're not already following me at Char, CHAR Emily, EMILY K, the letter K, on Instagram, then do so. Please send me a message if this resonated, and DM me Freedom if you want to learn more about creating a heart-centered, freedom-based business. I can also guide you to the trainings and the community and everything that we have to support you there. All right, lots of love. I am back in an equally beautiful spot, but with no microphone and fancy setup this time, to let you know that I have been receiving so much beautiful feedback around what I've been sharing about authenticity that I have decided to turn the Era of Authenticity mini workshop into a 90-minute deep dive offered for an insanely accessible price. So if you are listening to this and you'd love to go deeper into this conversation, I've actually already presented this workshop in private for 2 different groups so far, and they have been in love with every single minute of it. We had like 50 plus people on a live call that stayed all 90 minutes straight till the end. So if this is something that has been piquing your interest, that you have been resonating with, and you want to dive deeper, I have never offered something like this live at this cost. You're either already on the page to click purchase or something, I don't know where this is going to be, or you're not on that page. So DM me and ask me for the Era of Authenticity, or just comment EOA, Era of Authenticity, or DM me EOA, and you'll get all of the details. And I would love to see you there. Whether you're seeing this before it's live, that would be amazing if you can come live. Otherwise, if you're seeing it and the replay is already up, you can purchase the replay. Let's grow and heal and learn and find ourselves and become ourselves and return to ourselves together.